Okay, so now for the final bit, we're going to string up this little section over here. So this is a nice easy section. So we're going to thread our thread right through this row of beads. We're going to secure it over here. You're going to knot it up with that little tail that you had. We're then going to string up 22 beads. You're then going to go to this very last long bead. We're going to go through the bottom up, then go back through the second one down, string up a line of 16 beads, so that's that second lower one. So that's 16 small little beads. We're going to be entering through the bottom of the second last bead at that long bead over there. We're going to go one across, so that should be then the third bead. We're going to go from the top bottom through, string up 10 beads, so that's that white row over there. Go up through the third from the left side, so from the top up, back down, and then thread up 4 small beads back up through the center over there. Once we've kind of done that, you've kind of completed it, and from there we need to knot it off. So by knotting it off, we're going to weave it through a couple of these little loops and through some of these beads, and then you're going to go twice into one little spot, through a little loop, and tighten it. And that's how you can secure your thread so it doesn't come loose. If you're not very good at making knots, just make sure that you weave it enough times through some of the other beads over here. Right, and then we'll be finished with this one. So here we go. So in the previous video, we secured the hook at the top. Okay, and we're now going to put the needle through, so weave it back through the side beads. Okay, as you can see, I'm just kind of like pushing it through. If you need to do 2 or 3 only at a time, that's absolutely fine. There we go. And we just want to make sure that we end up with the needle, with the thread at the bottom. There we go. Okay, now if you ended up on a side where you have the tail on the opposite end, that's absolutely fine. It just means once we get to that side, when we loop it through, we'll make a little knot there just to secure that end over here. So we've gone through that last little end. We're pulling it through, so you can see we're practically at that blue band again. We're now going to string up the 22 plain beads. I'm going to start off with some white beads. Three, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you literally just string them on 12, 13, 14, 15. So you can see they're kind of all just in a row here. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so I have 22 beads strung up, so it kind of just looks like a little line, like that. We're now going to enter through this last little bead over there. As you can see, here's the last bead. So here's the row over there. It's the last bead over here. Just pulling it through, and as I pull it, it creates a little loop like that. We're now going to enter, so from the top of that blue bead back through the second one. As you can see, we're going through the second bead. At this point now, because I've got 2 of these threads, I want to secure that little thread that we started off with. And you're just going to do a very, very basic knot. Again, if you want to secure it very, very well, you can thread your needle at the end and weave it back in again as well. So there we go. Once you've kind of knotted it, we're just going to trim that thread off. So that's that short one that we originally left. There we go. Let's just trim it nice and short. Okay. Okay. So currently we came out of that second blue bead over here, and we're now going to string up 16 beads. I'm going to change up the color, and you can get quite creative here with which colors you want to do, but sometimes it is quite nice just kind of alternating colors. Okay, so we are stringing up 16 beads this time. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So again, it kind of looks like a long little string like that. We're now going to enter into that second last bead, so from the bottom up. Okay, so we're going through that second bead. Okay, I pulled mine quite tight, so I just have to wiggle it kind of through. Okay, if it's somehow too tight, because the insides of the beads are quite firm, then just loop it through that bottom loop that you've got over there, in line with the bead. We're then going to string up the next row, and that again we're going to alternate the colors. So we're going to do 10 white beads. Okay, so currently you can see we've got one lower one, then the next row. Okay, I am stringing up 10 seed beads in white. Again, this is just a plain color. Okay, let's see, got 2, 4, 6, 8, I need 2 more. There we go, and I kind of pick them all up with the needle. I'm just pulling them all the way down. So they fall right next to the second loop. I'm then going to enter through the third bead, bottom, top to top, pulling it nice and firm. There we go. And you can see it kind of just falls into place over there. We're now going to go skip one across, so you're now entering from the top seed to the top long one, so it's the 4th one that you're entering through. Okay, pulling it nice and firm. And we now on our last row, and the last row, so I just need to make sure it's nice and firmly pulled. There we go. Now on our last row, so on our last, so that's that little center one, we are going to try and loop up 4 clear ones. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now we are going through the 4th bead from the other side, so from the bottom up through the 4th long bead. There we go. Pulling it nice and tight, and that folds in the center over there. Okay, so now we have completed the bottom row. We're now just going to weave the needle and thread through some of these little pyramid beads over here. Okay, because we're just trying to now secure the thread. Okay, and knot it off. So by knotting it off, I'm just going to catch a thread, create a little loop, go through the little loop with my needle and pull it nice and tight. You can do that twice. So catching just the thread, pulling a little loop, taking your needle, going through that little loop, pulling nice and tight, taking the scissors, trimming it off, and ta-da! You have created your own little earring. Well done.